Okay, guys, so this week, we won't be reading from the reading workshop. We'll be reading only from the literature anthology, but before we start, we will go through the vocab again, okay? So we said that the word behave means to act or in the correct or the right way. Okay, let's see the sentence here. It says here, the boy is teaching the dog to behave. Okay, so the boy is teaching the dog how to act in the correct way. Okay, the second word, flapping. Flapping is the moving of the wings, the moving up and down of the wings. The bird was flapping its wings quickly. Okay, number 3, express. Express to show someone or tell someone how you feel. The baby is smiling to express how he feels. Okay, so here express the baby smiling to show us that he feels happy. Number 4, feathers. Feathers. Okay, we said that birds are covered with something called feathers. A peacock is covered in colorful feathers. Okay, so these are our regular vocabulary words for this week. Instead of 8, we have only 4. Okay, and I think they are pretty easy. You guys are familiar with them. Okay, let's go to our poetry words. Okay, so this week we said that we have a different genre. Okay, the genre of stories called the genre of this week is called rhyming poetry. Okay, what's the meaning of poetry? A poem is a form of writing. It's a piece of writing where the person who writes it, okay, it tries to express or tell us what he is thinking or how he's feeling. Okay, so the person who writes a poem is called a poet. A poet, okay, like the same spelling of poem, but instead of M-T, poet. Okay, so a poet is a person who writes a poem. What is a poem? Again, a writing or a form of writing where the person or the poet expresses his imagination or his feelings. Okay, the second word, rhyme. Rhyme means words that have the same ending sound, like pain and gain, jet and cat. Okay, rhythm. Okay, you'll find in some poems words are repeated. Okay, so this is according to the rhythm. And also some poems have beats. They have beats, and we'll count them as we start reading them. Okay, word choice. We said that poets like to choose words that are rich or are colorful to make the person reading the poem fun, to make the person enjoy what he or she is reading. Okay, let's start with our first poem this week, and it's called, the title of the poem is called Beetles. Okay, Beetles. What's the title? Beetles. Okay, and as we know, beetles are bugs. Okay. Okay, we know that it has a shiny shell, and it's mostly like light green, but as you see here, it's colorful. Okay, so and the name of the poet is Monica Shannon. So again, the title of the poem is Beetles, and the name of the poet is Monica Shannon. Let's start reading. Beetles must use polish. They look so new and shiny, just like a freshly painted car, except for being tiny. Okay, so as you see here, this poem has 4 lines. Okay, so in the first line, it says beetles must use polish. Okay, they say that maybe beetles use polish. Polish is something that you put to make, like sometimes we put polish to make shoes shine. Okay, so it says beetles must use polish. Why? Because they are shiny. They look so new and shiny. The poem is describing the beetle as new and shiny, like something that is new and shine. Okay, just like a freshly painted car, except for being tiny. All right, so as you see here, the poet is trying to say that the Beatles is polished and it looks like it looks new and it's always shiny, just like a freshly painted car. The poet is describing the shininess of the Beetle to a car that is freshly painted, like just like a car that has new paint, except that it's so tiny. Tiny means something that is so small. Okay? So here we have two words that are rhyming. What are they? They are shiny and tiny. Okay? We said that the word rhyming words are words that have the same ending sound, like shiny and tiny. Okay. What did the poet describe the beetle to? Describe the beetle as? He said, she said that the beetle is so new and shiny, just like a car that got new paint. Okay, and she also said that it's shiny and small in size. Okay, what about the beats? Okay, do we have any repeated words here? No. So what about the rhythm? Okay, the rhythm is the beats. Okay, like for example, if I say, how many beats does line 1 have? It says here, Beetles. When you say the word Beatles, how many parts do you say the word in? Okay, Beetles. Beetles, that's 2 parts. So that's 2 beats. Okay, Beetles, 2, must, 1, use, 1, polish, 2. Okay, so this is how we get the rhythm. Okay, by counting the parts of each word. Beetles, 2, must, 1, use, 1, polish, 2. Okay, so how many beats does line 1 have? 6 beats. Okay, how can we count them again? Beetles, 2, must, 1, use, 1, polish, 2. Okay, so Beetles must use polish, that's 6 beats. What about the second line? How many beats does the second line have? They, 1, look, 1, sew, 1, new, 1, and 1, shiny, 2. Shiny, so 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's second line has 7 beats. Okay? Okay, so this is how we count the beats. The beats are the rhythms you find in the line to make it to fun for the person who reads the poem. It's like a song. Beetle must use polish, they look so new and shiny. Just like a freshly painted car, except for being tiny. Okay, so this is called a rhyming poem. Here, the person or the poet is trying to express what she thinks about Beetles. She thinks that the Beetles are new and shiny, and she's describing it to a freshly painted car, a car that just got painted, but it's small or tiny in size. Okay, what does the person use? She uses beats to make the poem fun for us to read. Okay, and that's the first poem. Let's go and check out the second poem. Okay, The Little Turtle by Vachel Lindsay. There was a little turtle, he lived in a box. He swam in a puddle, he climbed on the rocks. He snapped at a mosquito, he snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow, he snapped at me. He caught the mosquito, he caught the flea, he caught the minnow, but he couldn't catch me. Okay, so this is our second poem. What is our second poem about? The second poem is about a little turtle. Okay, okay. So the poet here. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I'm sorry. So as we said, that this poem is about a little turtle. The little turtle is by the beach. Okay, and the poet is trying to express to us trying to express how he or she feels about this little turtle. So what did the poets say? There was a little turtle, he lived in a box, okay? So the turtle lived in a box. He swam in a puddle. A puddle is like a small body of, like a small area of water. You know, after it rains, sometimes they make small circles of water. This is called a puddle. So he lived in a box. He swam in a puddle. He climbed on the rocks. Okay, so maybe here means the box here refers to the shelter of the turtle, and this he swam in a puddle, like in a small pond, and he climbed on the rocks. You know that sometimes turtles, when they want to rest, they climb on rocks and they rest under the sun. Okay, he snapped at a mosquito. You know, the turtles sometimes try to open its mouth and try to catch things with its mouth. So he snapped here. He tried to snap with his mouth at a mosquito. A mosquito is the bug that we all know. This is a mosquito. So the turtle snapped at the mosquito. He snapped at a flea. A flea is not another small bug. Here you see behind like small dots here. He snapped at a minnow. A minnow is like the small fish. Okay. So the mosquito tried to catch catch with his mouth a mosquito. He opened to try to catch it, and he tried to catch the flea. He snapped at the minnow, and he snapped at me. So, okay. So also the turtle tried to snap at the poet. Okay. He caught the mosquito. So the turtle caught the mosquito. I mean, he catched him, or he catched the mosquito, and he catched the flea. He caught the minnow, but he couldn't catch me. Okay, so in the end, he couldn't catch the person. He caught all of the other things, the mosquito and the flea and the minnow, but he couldn't catch the person. Okay. So here in the beginning, on the first 4 lines, the poet is describing where the turtle lives. Okay? And then he says that he tries to bite or try to catch a mosquito with his mouth, and a flea and a minnow, and also at the person. Okay? At the end, at the last 4 lines, it tells us that he caught the mosquito, he caught the flea, and he caught the fish, the minnow, but he couldn't catch the person. Okay? All right. Let's look for the rhyming words. Okay? There was a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam in a puddle. He climbed on the rocks. Okay? So turtle and puddle kind of have the same sound. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow. He snapped at me. So flea and me have the same ending sound. Okay, what about the rhythm? Here we have words that are repeated to make rhythm, such as snapped. Snapped is repeated 4 times here. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow, and he snapped at me. This is to cause rhythm, repeated words. Okay, what is the other word that is repeated? Caught. He caught the mosquito. He caught the flea. He caught the minnow, but he couldn't catch me. So caught is the other repeated word. What if I want to count the beats? Okay, let's see. He swam in a puddle. Okay, he, 1 beat, swam, 2 beat, 3 beat, in 1 beat, 1 beat, puddle, 2 beat. That's 6 beat. So if I ask you, how many beats does line 3 have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 beats. Okay? Okay. So why do poems have rhythm? To make it fun, to learn about the topic or whatever the poet is trying to express or tell about. Okay? So rhythm is either the repeated word, such as snapped and caught, or the beats of in a line. Okay, remember that each sentence here is called a line. All right? And the words, the rhyming words such as turtle, puddle, flea, me. Okay? All right. So let's see what short. Okay, if we want to write a short about the key details of the poem, it would be number 1, key detail, the little turtle lives in a box. The second thing, the turtle swims in a puddle and climbs on rocks. Okay? This is from the first 4 lines. It says here, there was a little turtle, he lived in a box. This is the first detail. Okay? Second detail, he swims in a puddle and he climbed on rocks. This is detail number 2. And then the detail number 3 will talk about what he tried to do. The turtle snaps at and eats a mosquito, flea, and a minnow. So that means the turtle tries to open his mouth and he catches the mosquito and the flea and the minnow. Okay, that's it. All right, let's go have a look at the genre. It says here, a rhyming poem. A rhyming poem has words that end with the same sound. Okay, that means a rhyming poem is a writing that has rhyming words. What are rhyming words? Words that have the same ending sound. Okay, what else? The poet tries to express or tell us about what he's thinking and what he's feeling. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the 2 poems.